How is Ohio State going to stop Texas? How is Texas going to score points against that defense? Can either or of the sides of the ball by either team win this game? Well, if you want to learn football at a pretty decent and comprehensive level, in fact, if you want to learn a whole lot, watch this episode. I'm going to share with you what to look for in the Ohio State Texas game. That's going to be a, a, a matter of who wins this game. It's a big part of it. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Tim Daniel College Football Show. I am he. And since he is here to talk about what Ohio State and Texas are going to do to win this game, you are looking at the most expensive college football team in the history of college football. This is the most Ohio State is the most talented college football team in the history of college football. Now, before everyone goes off and sees what they did to Oregon and say, "Oh, this is over." In fact, it's funny. I see a lot of these funny memes showing that Ohio State is Frankenstein and Texas is the little girl in the laboratory and funny stuff. However, you have to remember things. Two things. Ohio State lost twice, and they lost for a reason. Also, you also have to remember this. Ohio State has a head coach that is not really an elite head coach. He can't stop the run. But wait a minute, he did against Oregon. But if you follow me, you also know that I have said that Oregon is not really the best team. They had a ton of speed, and they're a very good football team. They had some oomph going into it. They had motivation going in this. They have a coach that's fired up, ready to go in and get ready for the playoffs. Well, yeah, we knew going in that Ohio State was going to win and win big. Now, well, I don't know if you believe that. Obviously, I did. I predicted the score of 40-25 live to the world, and of course, I was pretty right with that. But what I was wrong is that I had I had Texas 40-17 over Arizona State. So I was wrong there. But I did not realize how good of a coach Kenny Dillingham is and how much better he is than Steve Sarkisian. So let's break this down and let's watch. How is this going to happen for Ohio State defensively to win this game? It starts up front. Now, I've got to give you a little pre-wager here. Well, I don't know if the wager is a correct word. Um, I'm betting myself, and it's always been this way. I have trouble pronouncing Polynesian last names. My college roommate was Polynesian. Ralphie. I still have to call him Ralphie. I just can't do it. So let's start. Ohio State rush end. JT Tuimalauau. 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 Hey, man, I think I got it. Okay, JT Tuimalauau. Okay, we're going to know him as JT. One hell of a football player. Five and a half sacks in the last 5 games. On the other side, his compadre known as Jack Sawyer. Hell of a talent. 5 sacks. Excuse me. Yeah, 5 sacks in the last 4 games. But we have to look at who they played in the last few games. Well, they played Oregon. Again, Oregon was not the number 1 team. They won their games. They deservingly owned the number 1 spot. But if you're like me, who makes a living off of football, you knew that Oregon State was not going to win the national title. They had way too many issues on the field for them to get by 3 teams. One of those teams didn't even make the playoffs. So Oregon's problem was that they had to play Ohio State again. and they played lights out. They played the game of their lives against Ohio State the first time in Eugene when they beat them. The other team that Oregon would not beat is Texas. And that's simply because they can match up speed wise, Texas can, on the boundary on offense and in the secondary. They could match up with that. Secondly, Oregon could not handle the offensive line of Texas. So pay attention to that because that also leads a little bit into Ohio State. And the third team who's not even in the playoffs that could have, if them and Oregon played 3 times, they would win twice, and that's BYU. Offensively, defensively, obviously talent is much different at Oregon than it is BYU. But BYU has two things. They have a coaching staff that has one of the most legit personnel grouping staffs, gets the right guys in the right position, in the right defense, and the right offense, and they excel at it. And they've done it forever. If you look at all of the BYU head football coaches, where there are not many, all of them have the exact same way of coaching. It's like Navy. At Navy, you're going to run the triple option. That's what you do. That's what you do. You're not in the Navy Academy. You're not going to get a bunch of naval cadets that are 6'6", 335. And if they are, and they can run like that, yeah, they're going to be in the pros real soon. But I think you get the gist of what we're talking about. So overall, let's talk Ohio State. Defensive. JT versus JT Tuimoloau. JT versus probably one of the best left tackles in college football, Kelvin Banks. Kelvin Banks is talented beyond talent, outstanding left tackle. Again, JT, 5.5 sacks in 5 games. On the other side, you got Jack Sawyer, and he's going up against Trevor Gooseby. What do we think he is? Ryan Sawyer has, I think, 5 sacks in 4 games. So what are the two different things that JT and Jack has to win this game? What they do is predicated off of one person and one thing. Nose tackle for Ohio State, Ty Hamilton, and the technique that he's going to play against Texas. So now listen up. Now watch this very closely. Watch this game. Watch Ty Hamilton on the techniques that he's going to play against Jake Majors, the center of Texas, and DJ Williams, the right guard of Texas. It depends on the technique that he plays. Here's the deal. Obviously, they watch film. Anybody who watches film and knows football, Texas likes to run the ball behind Gooseby and behind Williams. They love to run counter because Jake Majors is the best pulling center in college football. They love to run trap. They love counter, mini misdirection. They love to run ISO and inside zone. They're going to have to be in a situation where Steve Sarkisian is going to have to catch them in the right situation or the right technique for Ty Hamilton. The Ohio State defensive front is the most expensive defensive front in the history of college football. 5 stars everywhere. And that's where everyone's saying, oh, I love Ohio State. But guess what? Ohio State, you have 2 things going against you. 1, you have a head coach. And 2, that head coach has problems stopping the run game. Because I guarantee you, this is a fact. Ohio State has not seen a run game or an offensive line like Texas. Does that say that Texas is going to steamroll them? No. This is a chess match. Remember, this is all about everything up front. If Texas is going to win this game, they're going to run the ball. Look at what Ty Hamilton does versus the guys on the edge with JT and Jack Sawyer. That's where you need to watch to see who's going to win this game defensively for Ohio State. Texas, how are they going to win this? Now, Quinn Ewers is the death of Texas. I am telling you right now, Quinn Ewers, he's a passion route quarterback. Passion route quarterbacks do not win big games. And this is a big game. If you guys have followed my show, passion route quarterback. What is a passion route quarterback? Passion route quarterback is, well, for example, we got receiver X, and receiver X loves to run the dig route. He does a great job of running the dig route. He finds the holes. He does a great job of sitting. He does a great job of catching the ball across middle field and gets vertical big time. He likes that dig route. Now, that's just an example of always wanting to throw that dig route because your receiver runs it well. You have a passion of throwing that route. Passion routes are the death of quarterbacks. A lot of quarterbacks do them. When I coached quarterbacks for a few years, I had a really good quarterback that loved the fade. No matter what, he would audibilize and come out of fade, throw out a fade. So overall, that's the problem with Quinn Ewers. His passion route is deep because he's got the speed on the boundaries. But you're in the playoffs. You are in the playoffs. Everybody has the speed that you do. So he knows he's accurate because he is. He is the most accurate quarterback in college football. But he gets too much air on it. He just lobs it. And it drives me insane because it's going to turn into picks, which is basically, you guys have seen it, and those are the facts. This is how Texas wins, in my opinion. I'm going to throw out some names to you. Isaiah Bond, DeAndre Moore, Matt Golden, Sila Bolden, and Ryan Wingo. You know who those are, right? Those are five wide receivers at Texas. Now, I'm not saying you're going to throw the ball to all of them. You move them around sets and formations, and you run the ball with these guys. Get the ball in their hands. Running the ball. Why not? With these guys, I would get the ball out of Quinn Ewers' hands in a second with these guys. Except this. If Texas starts throwing what I call, now this is all about terminology, what I call the now route, the quick screen, the now route, the now screen. Quinn Ewers turns around, throws the ball to the boundary. Boom, it's a screen. He turns around, throws the ball to the boundary. It will not work against Ohio State. Defensively, when they are in a multiple receiver set to the field, away from the field, if they're in a multiple receiver set to the short side of the field, Ohio State will play man, and that's going to cause a problem. And especially if they throw the now route, what I call is the now route. Also, when they throw to the field as well. The quick screens to the boundary behind the line of scrimmage is going to be the death of Texas. For Texas, I hope I'm wrong. Could be. I don't think I am. Because you have too much speed with too much physicalness, if that's the word. Ohio State's very physical in man coverage. And like I say, if you saw it against Oregon. So overall, that's what we're seeing with Texas. To win this game, you got to implement all five receivers in multiple fashions. Get them in the run game. The sweep, the jet sweep. I'd run screen across the middle of the field. Slip screen. Would not run now routes to the boundary. Quick screen routes to the boundary would not do that. So overall, am I going to say who's going to win this game based off of this? No, I am not. I will afterwards. Just know this. Ohio State, best defensive front, the best box college football has ever seen. But they have a head coach that's not elite and can't stop the run. Texas has probably one of the best offensive line that Ohio State's going to face all year long. But they have a quarterback that cannot get his mind off of to show the world how far he can throw it and how accurate he is. Yeah, you can have, it doesn't matter how accurate you are. When you've got two defenders around your receiver, bad things are going to happen. So take a look at it. Watch this game, guys. If you want to learn something on who wins this game, if it comes down to stopping the run or the run game, watch Ty Hamilton and watch where he aligns up. Watch the technique he plays. Also, based off of his technique and what JT and Jack Sawyer are doing, has everything to do with this game. Let me know what you think. Follow me on Twitter at TimmyDFootball. Please follow. On Instagram, Tim Daniel Football. Also, follow me here on YouTube at Tim Daniel CFB. Follow me, ring the bell, subscribe, all that good stuff. This will help you teach the game, pre-game, and what's going to happen to Ohio State defensively and what Texas can do offensively to win. Let me know what you guys think. If you think I'm full of it, let me know. You'll lose, but that's all right. Let me know. I have fun with this, guys. So let me know what you all think. Look for episode 3, Texas defense, Ohio State. And that's what's going to determine who's going to win this game. Because right now, everybody has Ohio State steamrolling Texas. Not so fast, my friends. That's our buddy Lee.